Aloha! Hello everybody, this is Alika, the Hawaiian Blanca.
This is Greg, 808 Project D.
And this is Daniel, aka Dan the Big Man.
And welcome to another episode of the Whackmo Olos podcast edition. Now, today, too much negative stuff going on.
Fuck yeah.
With the recent stuff that's been going on in this past weekend, I figure it's time to release some stress. And not just with beer. I mean, you can if you want. But we got some positive stress relievers, methods, notes, whatever you guys want to call it. Methods, positively, and Greg is going all over the beer on the table.
You tall, bro.
See, this is why you drink them out of a mug or a glass. Take two. 1, 3, 2. Anyways, we just had a little mishap. So today, as I was saying, we got some positive relievers practices
By making fun of my
for
dumbass.
stress from.
For stress relief.
Spit him out.
Shut up.
He's not. As you guys can tell,
We got some positive stress relievers for some of you guys who are stressed out from work, from your kids, from your husband, from your wife, from your mother-in-law, your father-in-law,
everything.
whatever. So if you need some stress relieving methods, notes, whatever, we got some positive ones for you. So today, I want to start off. The obvious one is keeping a positive attitude. So what does that mean? Remembering things don't have to be perfect. Sometimes good enough is just fine. Okay, Brother Greg, you can read off some of the rest of that list.
And I think there's a difference between being assertive aggressive as well as being just plain positive assertive, meaning like assert your feelings, beliefs in a more respectful fashion as well as more calm fashion instead of defensive or passive, because that's not really helping your situation at all. If, say, for example, you're in a negative spot, you could be like, this is how I feel, and then it may come off as defensive. Just say what you mean what you say, and essentially just move on. And then another way that you can look at it is find humor in everyday life. Like just when we had to cut, I pulled a Thor and slammed my beer on the desk.
Party foul.
Big party foul. It ain't even nighttime yet.
So, does assertive versus aggressive matter by tone?
Definitely, because tone is where context is derived from. So, like for example, when we were talking about relationships between friends, it's here in Hawaii we say, like, if we're really close, like us three, we're like family. I can say, hey, what's up, you fucker, and that's like,
how's it going, you bitch?
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Yeah,
something like
how
that.
you Punani's are doing.
Yeah.
I'm wet.
I'm dry.
Same.
Sucks to be you.
Yeah, and it's something like that, and that type of tone and that type of context generally will help your overall outlook. And another way that you can also be more assertive is by trying to understand the situation. And that may seem passive, but if you look at the things not just from a smaller point of view or like those little details, and you see the bigger picture, you're able to see everything that happens. And it's not often that we do that, and that's why we fall into these situations, not to the extremes of what happened this past Sunday, but to the extent that we are our own worst enemy.
Mm-hmm. So, music. Good way. What kind of music do you like to listen to?
Oh, for me, I'm a religious type of, not half religious, but I'm kind of religious.
Like
sometimes
Christian genre.
Christian genre. Sometimes I listen
Jesus,
to.
take the wheel.
Sometimes I listen to reggaeton, just to keep my vibe high, because I don't like to be below my stress level, because then I'll be like to the point where I'll be tearing in there.
What kind of song usually gets to you?
Like as in like vibes, or like like kills your vibe, like,
or something that raises your vibe, like oh, like
oh,
like
that
you
kind of-
feeling good.
Song I'll say like group, like maybe like Kaloi Kai, because he has that little mellow, and I can feel his vibe too, because I understand his music, his stress too. Also another is I like to listen to like some rap music, but recently I just got into Eminem, like his new album.
Wow.
Yeah,
Recently.
you know, just recently. I mean, I listen to his music sometimes, but like he has a.
You don't really like vibe to it.
Yeah, like his one's really good.
Well, his one is just mostly to laugh.
It's like satire.
Yeah.
Majority of it is like satire.
But it's like, ooh! You know, that kind
yeah.
of like.
Because he
that
did
kind of feeling.
he did come from like a battle rap genre anyways,
Yeah.
like when you look at it. So it's like the bars have to be like hard hitting. You have to be very clever with it.
We got some comments. Huckle Baby say, one stress reliever. The beach. Yes. Oceanography. You need some ocean therapy.
And actually, fun fact about that, a little bit of science into that. Did you know that the same amount of exercise that you would get, or that same dopamine effect that you get from like that runner's high? I wouldn't know that. I don't run. But like that runner's high that you feel, like as soon as you get out of that water, even if you don't swim at all, it's like that relief that you feel. It's almost like the same thing of coming out of a really hot shower. It makes you feel relaxed, makes you feel refreshed, and that's a very good one.
Yeah, because I could just go to the beach and just like
Fuck, you're like about a 20-minute walk
stay
from
there,
the
just
beach.
float. I don't even have to swim, or if I had to go like dive or anything like that, I just float in the middle of the water. I just like
Not face down, huh?
no, I'm like this. So I'm just like slowly moving,
Oh, kind of like
feeling
meditative.
feeling the cool ocean around me, hearing if I could hear like all the vibrations or whatever.
feel-
It's just like I hear nothing in this empty space.
Oh,
Right now.
kind of like sensory deprivation.
Yeah, so it's like it feels so good when you do stuff like that in the
Yeah.
ocean. I gotta go now. Another tip for helping you relieve some stress is staying organized. So I know a lot of us. I think it's particularly.
I'm not organized.
I think it's particularly with guys.
Hey, you're pretty organized, bro.
In a way that we think that we are organized, guys versus women.
Not all women, not all
the
guys.
guys
by the
have
way.
our own way of being organized. Like, everybody could be a total mess, but we'll know exactly what one thing is exactly in
where
the
it
room.
is.
It's like,
Organized chaos.
Like especially like I mean I know us guys, our rooms are pretty dirty, but we know where everything is.
Mine
Like
especially.
you said.
Mine especially.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm looking for 50 cents. Oh, 50 cents is at the corner of the TV stand, and the other 25 cents is at the corner of the closet. You know,
it's like, what the hell is like? If you don't touch my stuff,
I know where everything
yeah.
is.
So, I think I was like what Greg said is organized chaos. Women, we're not dirty. Men are just untidy. But we know where our stuff is. At
That's
all
basically
times.
the same thing.
No. Dirty means that you have to dirt, dust, whatever. Messy is just like
You need to put stuff away.
stuff is just not. It's unorganized. Like
Yeah.
there's hats that should be in the closet versus
Off camera,
being
there's
on
like
the,
a pile of hats over there.
yeah versus being on my desk over here. But you don't see like a speck of freaking dirt or dust anywhere in my room. You know, that's the difference between dirty and messy. Another way is say no to taking on
Too many
more
responsibilities.
obligations, tasks, especially if it conflicts with your personal time, your space, your sleep pattern, and your other obligations or responsibilities. So, Daniel, give me an example that you would take on more obligations on top of you already having other responsibilities to tend to.
Oh, my job.
Okay, so like, what about your job?
So like, there's a few times where I get really stressful, to the point where my job already has a bunch of other stuff on top of me. Like, oh, I need you to do this, but at the same time, I need you to take care of this.
Like multitask.
Multitask, right?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, what else do you need me to do? So I need you to do this and this outside too. I was like, okay. And then as the stuff keeps piling up, the stress level's getting higher. But I take the time to like, okay, I'm getting paid by the hour, so I can't do all of this all the time. So I'm gonna do some side stuff that I work in the back sometimes in the receiving area, and then there's a bunch of other stuff. So I take about 10 to 15 minutes out of my time, out of that my job that requires me. I just go outside and just clean, just to bring down my stress level, just to get myself settled and then go back in and then attack what the obligations that my job has me doing. You know.
Yeah, and I think I want to highlight what Daniel pointed out was going to different areas, and that's also being a part of being organized, is allowing yourself to see that stressor and prioritize where that stress. And a lot of the times when we hear the word stress, it's a bad thing, and it notes something very negative. Whereas what he's doing is channeling that stress into positive stress, and that is the type of stress that he's exerting, is by prioritizing and removing himself from a stressful situation. And that goes on along the lines of what Alika said, where you have to sometimes say no, and it's not a dead stop. Oh no, I'm not doing it. It's like, okay, I see what you're asking. Let me get this done first, and I'll get back to this if it's not a high priority.
Yeah. So it's exactly the way you said it. Say no gracefully to taking on more obligations, because yes, especially if it's the workplace, you're taking on more stuff already. The boss may not know that you're whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
The boss is just want these tasks to get done because that's just what the job is asking for. You may be short staffed, you may be working by yourself, whatever. Me all the time. And then this is where we go to the other one. Prioritizing everything else in order. This order can make things more confusing and hard to remember, because you're thinking, what is the most important thing that you gotta do versus what is the last thing I was told to do?
Yeah.
You're usually doing the last thing that you were told to do.
Yeah.
Totally forgetting what you were in the middle of doing.
Yeah.
All these other minor stuff.
Yeah.
That you're supposed to do was like, oh, I'm almost off the clock already.
Yeah. And I think that goes, like, when we're talking about that, especially if like you run your own business, one thing that I have to stress to employers is that by staying organized in this sense, it removes a lot of the negative morale that's within your company, and it allows for a better system to be implemented. And by doing that, it allows not only you to help manage your team more effectively, but it also allows your staff to say, hey, my boss already set up a system where it's foolproof. If I fail at it, that's my fault. And it allows them to, like what Daniel did for his job, prioritize what needs to be done at the immediate nature that it comes in, kind of deal.
Yeah, that's why it's to set priorities straight. So when you set priorities, you organize them, limiting yourself. What I like to do is it's like what Haku Baby is saying. You write down everything that you need to get done within the shift. As soon as you know what tasks you have to get done. What is the easiest to do? What you need to get done the earliest, as soon as possible, and what you can put off to do until like the end of everything else.
Yeah.
The better organized you can, based on importance and time limit that you have, just strictly speaking in the workplace, I think the better that you'll be off from lowering your stress relief instead of trying to do everything at once. It's like, oh shoot, now I gotta do this. Oh shit, I should have go grab that when I was over there. You know. Yeah. Even if you gotta go back and forth, I just feel like if you finish one task at a time, go back and forth if you need to do, backtrack if you have to.
Yeah.
Because if you do this and that, you're still taking on different sections and different parts of the same, like multiple tasks, but you're still not completing
what you need to do.
Any of them at the same time. I do one thing at a time. If it's relatable, then maybe I can do this. And if I see a funny video on YouTube, I'll go watch YouTube.
And that goes into like what you're saying in your notes too, is like taking that time for yourself.
Yeah.
Because especially when you're in the workplace too, there's a saying for every professional, whether it be radio hosts, podcasters, or whatnot, is leave the personal bullshit at the door and bring it here. But sometimes, say for example, you're not in that mental space. Sometimes just having that respite or that release kind of thing. Like, again, I'm going to always cite Daniel's example where he removes himself from that stressful situation at whatever he's doing, trying to not really deviate, but focus on another task that's related to his job. By having that alone time to gather yourself again is a big thing. And this is also what we stress with special needs children, because they get stressed out a lot, which then stress out the caregiver, and we wouldn't know how to do that. And that's one thing that in my training, in my job, working as a caregiver, as well as working with special needs children in the education system, as well as healthcare, that's one thing that they always stress is take time for yourself, have that break, give the break to the kid, give the break to yourself, because that not only improves productivity, but it also improves like your self-esteem, your morale, and having like that meditative session also helps out a lot. It could be Facebook, it could be phone gaming, it could be watching TV. Just that few moments to yourself. And also you guys got to make it reasonable too. You can't be like, oh, vegged out on the sofa or in your bedroom as your own alone time, but having that time to be productive while you're meditating or taking that time alone really does help.
Yeah, and I actually forgot about this. Haku Baby was actually a bartender for a very long time. So, she comments, as a bartender, you work on the stove. You can pow the fastest or kill the most birds with least amount of stones. So, that kind of already proves my point. Is that in a typical bar place, as busy as it gets, you have to make more than one drink at a time. Yeah. Especially if you're making one drink and then there's like another order that has 2 or 3 of the same drinks that you're currently making. You might as well just make as much as those drinks as you can
in one shaker.
Yeah, and then you just put out the drinks per order all at the same time. Yeah. So a party of 3, one person just gets a drink and the other 2 are like without a drink. Yeah. You know.
It's kind of like Hell's Kitchen, but in the bar scene.
Yeah, you're just trying to manage the time and seeing like you going by priority, when you get the order or anything like that. So it's just knowing, depending on your situation, what you're trying to organize yourself in is how you should be able to prioritize your tasks.
Yeah.
So now the last number 3. I think this one is very important. I think I'm kind of slacking in this one. Is staying healthy.
Compared to me and Daniel, you don't.
Okay, I'm not comparing you guys. I'm just saying about myself. Okay, if you guys are comparing yourselves to me, then it's like this has been going on nonstop. So I just feel like I'm always gonna be like this. They're always gonna look like that.
Doesn't show it.
Yeah. So. So staying healthy. I put this one in parentheses because this one is actually this one could be just for yourself, this could be in general. I would say regular exercise. So it's not much of a stress reliever, but I walk like at least 1 to 2 miles every day.
Yeah, no, sometimes that walk can be meditative.
I think just for me, I just know where my destination is, so when I look forward, there's like
it's goal oriented kind of thing.
So I was like, that's far.
It is.
I mean, I'm touching base on like how like walking distance wise. Like for me, I like to walk, and then like especially when I, get some drama going on at my house or like family drama, and I like to take at least 20 to 30 minutes walking. Take laps around my house or laps around my neighborhood. And I was like, I'll be right back. I need to cool off a little bit. That actually helps.
Yeah.
So, the reason why I put healthy in parentheses because one of the things that it says is to not rely on alcohol, drugs, or anything for compulsive behaviors to relieve stress.
Compulsive behaviors meaning like self-medicating, which is in a way smoking or vaping is a form of self-medication.
Yeah, so that's why I put healthy in parentheses because for some people having a beer or 2 or maybe 3 to relax, calm yourself down is actually a pretty good stress reliever after a
long day of work, but not like pounding like hard liquor.
I mean, you can pound as much beer as you want. It's actually your choice, but to drink to release stress is not the choice that you want to drink for. That's why it's everything when it comes to drinking or drugs. Actually, I don't suggest drugs at all. I mean, if you burn, if you smoke Pacalola or whatever, then that's your own choice.
For those of you who don't know,
I think that's the. I don't personally do it as much anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had a choice, if I was, I'm not gonna lie. If it was like a pretty girl who was asking me, "You burn?" No, how come? Well, I like guys who burn. They
puff fast,
puff, and then shotgun, whatever. But, like he says, don't rely on doing those things, consuming alcohol or I don't consider Pakalolo a drug, honestly.
It's an herb.
Yeah. So,
You can cook with it.
Yeah.
Does magical things, by the way.
Not to do like, or
And again, not to say like for those states that haven't legalized marijuana, like we're not saying that as kind of like that linchpin to find a new avenue to stress relief, or even advocate drug use in general. Even though again, pakalolo or marijuana is a plant. I mean, it's just one of those things where having a set routine, like getting regular exercise, getting a routine going to be healthy does wonders for stress relief, because it gives you like a goal to reach every single time. And that kind of ties in hand with being organized, because that's also a healthy habit to have. Say for example, at Alika's job, at my job, since I do work from home, at Daniel's job, having that sense of organization allows a person, regardless of wherever they're at in life, to find goals that they need to achieve, and that adds value to whatever it is you're going through, whether it be a good type of stressor or even a bad type of stressor, especially if it's a bad type of stressor.
Exercising regularly as a normal thing every day, it doesn't have to be involved in a gym. I've worked at a gym for like 5 years. I've exercised in a gym or exercised outside without free weights. It all depends on what really works for you. If you have to lift weights for like 3 hours just to feel, release some stress or they pent up energy or something, then that's all for you. Some people just rather go for a walk for like a mile or two, or for quite like a quick jog. Some people, they feel relief in swimming in a pool or ocean. Some people just rather do hammer curls while they're drinking beer. I don't know. But
Double fisting.
if exercise might help, it's just something that is good to stay physically fit. You actually just burning up a lot of stuff. It actually helps you sleep, which is the next thing, getting enough rest.
Amen.
So, I just ask, how long do you guys usually sleep on average a day?
For me, I think 6 hours.
On average?
Yeah,
Average.
that's
Okay,
about
what
right.
is your
That's
low?
good.
What is your high?
My lowest I ever did was like 4 or 5 hours, and then my highest the most I ever slept was like almost 10 hours.
Wow. What about you?
On average, because since I do some of the editing for the director's cut, plus since I do have 2 new series, I have to do research, recipe testing, and that's like about a good 12-13 hour day, aside from what I do as a caregiver at home. Anywhere from 2 to 4 hours is the lowest, hence
I think
coffee.
well, I never sleep yet. I don't
He's
know.
running on fumes right now.
Yeah, so
people.
I don't know if it's a lot of everybody who watches these episodes, I work at night, and then Tuesdays are actually my
Days off.
my Tuesdays are my Saturday technically. So I'm usually up for like 4 o'clock, maybe 5, the earliest the day before. I'm up all night. I work through the nights on a mid-shift. And then when we're recording, we pre-record these episodes.
Yeah.
So it's Tuesday for us. It'll be Wednesday for you guys. I never sleep yet.
Yeah, no, but your body, it's known as what's called a circadian rhythm. So the average adult between the ages of 21 to 40 needs an average of 6 to 8 hours of sleep. So, and that allows the body to produce its own serotonin, dopamine, and it allows good endorphins to rush through your body and all of that.
I think my high is like 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah, but then also too, there's another case
I
study.
think my low is 1
That's like a power nap.
at work.
Yeah, but also too, if you can't get like regular sleep, having those power naps allows you to quickly recharge those batteries, and that also produces serotonin, that also produces dopamine, that's naturally occurring in your body, and it allows your body to again get in that rhythm. For you, your body is accustomed now to working nights, right? No, it's not. Well, for those of
If it was, I wouldn't be sleeping at work.
oh fuck, never mind. But generally, if your circadian rhythm is geared towards nighttime,
I try.
hey, that's the main thing.
It is kind of hard, like working overnight shifts.
Yeah.
I'm not even in the back hiding. I'm like in the front desk, and I was like,
You're trying to
I'm
stay.
trying so hard. I was like, I watched stuff, and I was like this. I think it's my chair.
Your chair's too
I
comfortable.
think it's my chair.
I think, well, I believe it's in the chair because I did security one time, and then I had to be at the desk, and we switch over with my coworker every 2 hours from who does the rotating. So I do the desk for 2 hours, and being at the desk 2 hours.
Yeah, no, because you're stagnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not moving.
And there's like, I can get all my regular paperwork, computer work done in like the first hour and a half.
Yeah.
Maybe even less than that. Because I'm so used to doing it already. So
Yeah.
it's like, now what?
Yeah.
Somebody fight or something. You know?
Give me some action.
Yeah. Let me call cop. Ooh, action, boy. You know.
Or you take out the phone.
Yeah.
Hawaii's version of World Star. Oh, hungry Hawaiian.
Okay.
So the last part for a stress reliever that I just found that is actually important is seeking out social support, meaning go out, reach out to your friends, your loved ones. If you're, your family too, but some people aren't really close with their family. They're more close with their friends than their family.
You don't need to be blood related to be
Well,
family.
in this case, it's blood family.
Okay.
So the first one is just spending enough time with people that you enjoy. Just say, work was stressful, but I have beer. Not really to relieve my stress, it's just to help me loosen up. But I was thirsty, and then I am choosing to spend time with my two friends over here that's helping me laugh, and everything else is like, what happened to work? I don't care. It doesn't matter anymore.
Old news.
Yeah, and it's just, it's like what we were talking before we started recording is not knowing sometimes when to ask or seek help, even if you know that you need it. So what Greg was saying, of course, some people might need it.
They just won't ask for the help.
Yeah, sometimes they might be too embarrassed, ashamed of it.
Yeah.
It's just like, you have like, what's like the recent one incident top of your head?
Definitely when I started working at my mom's lawyer's law firm. That's when I realized that I hadn't had time to process my late father's passing, and I was just finish him.
No, just yours.
No, but like I didn't have time to process my dad's passing, and my mentor at the firm, because I just did no, because I just all I did was answering the phones. But what they were trying to do for me was keep me busy and all of that. And my employer went before I resigned. He allowed me to resign graciously. He just said, anytime you need mental health, don't be ashamed to ask. And he said, I noticed that you've been trying to soldier through, be strong for everybody, but seek help. And yeah, by keeping mentally busy, it does help, but that was one of the things where I didn't realize that I needed that help. What about you, bro?
Yeah, what about you?
Oh, for me, it was last week.
Okay, what happened last week?
Last week. No, there's some stuff that
Long story short, we roasted him and his friend.
Well, I was going through some stuff at my household, and I was getting really, really, really stressful. And then I was like, I'm going to call out tomorrow, which was Tuesday last week. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to try to hit up my boys and see if I can help come in and we'll go record with them, because I needed some remove myself from the stress, and then, go to a different, like how I talked about my job, how remove from the stressful into another one to keep myself down. So these two are like like, you know, one of my other closest friends, you know, especially these two,
Get out.
you know, and you know, you know, after we recorded the episode and we just talk and laugh and just, you know, just that's what I needed.
Yeah.
So, you know, so I love these two guys. So.
I love you too, bro.
Love you too, bro.
When you read all of these different methods for relieving stress positively, whether it's for yourself or for the community, what Hawaiian value comes to your mind when you're talking about relieving stress?
I think you said it in the previous cut. I think the term is malama, by taking care of one another.
Yeah, so, yeah, and malama could be just generally taking care. It could be for yourself, could be for somebody, could be for inanimate objects, could be for the land, could be anything. As long as anything could be taken care of, generally that's what malama means. Daniel, what did you use?
Well, my son was aloha.
Aloha.
Basic. Aloha,
Basic.
Yeah.
So, to just show love.
Show love, to also receive.
Mm?
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Are you expecting to receive in return?
I'm more both, like expecting to receive and giving, because for me, I like to give more than I receive.
Yeah.
You know, that's how
Because like you don't really, because some people say you don't really mean it if you're expecting, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, no, it should be expected.
Yeah.
I treat you, you treat me the same way.
Like, treat everybody
Yeah.
the same.
It shouldn't. I shouldn't.
Golden rule.
Yeah. It shouldn't. Nobody should even have to ask, or
Yeah.
it's a given. And what I said was ho'oponopono, which means it's just to make right. And to make right is basically if you have an issue. This is, say, a sibling. You and a sibling, brother, sister, whatever. You guys have some kind of conflict within each other that you guys are just butting heads. You guys get some time to just whatever relieve. You go do your own thing. He does their own thing. And then you go up to them and say, hey, I like ho'oponopono with you. I like make right with you. That also ties into my next point. Even if you want to release stress or want to make right of things that are not good in motion, not set in motion positively, you can never force somebody to make something right.
Yeah, no, that's very true, because that's also accepting the things that goes to what you were saying about in your first notes, is like accepting things that you can't control.
Yeah. And it's also like, of course, somebody might need help. Somebody might want that attention, but maybe they're not. Maybe they don't want it because maybe they're too embarrassed. Maybe they don't feel right about it at the moment. Maybe they're still mad at you. Because I'm just like, we all had those moments where like somebody's still mad, but you like get over it already. That person is not.
And I think going to what you were saying about making things right and not forcing, I think also to going back to staying healthy and keeping those mental good healthy habits, as well as seeking out support, is realizing that holding a grudge isn't healthy. Like, you're holding up all of that anger and you're using up that wasted energy to say, hey, fuck this person.
Mm-hmm.
And to say, hey, I don't like this person. One way that you can actually get over that is saying, okay, accept that the thing happened.
Mm-hmm.
Classic example, messy breakup with me several years back. I've forgiven the cunt. Not really. But I've chosen to accept the fact that the relationship has been terminated. And by accepting the fact that the relationship is terminated, it allows me to move forward. And that's going off the basis of to make things right. Not necessarily with the person that you've broken up with, or say, for example, you terminated a friendship because of some bullshit.
Yeah.
But it's going to the point where it's like, okay, by making it right, it means to also accept the circumstance for what it is.
Yeah.
Because it's out of your control at this point.
Yeah.
Why stress about it when you can easily just move on?
Because if you did everything that you could,
yeah,
and it's nothing that it has to do with you, then it's like
you said your piece, you've offered, you laid your cards on the table, saying, this is where I'm at, these are my terms.
Yeah.
Accept it or not, that's on you now.
Yeah. Because
like for me, like sorry, dude.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Jump, bro.
Jump in.
But
Too silent.
like for me, I gone through some stuff with my roommates, and now they have. I talked with Greg on the car ride when he was dropping me off that night. We got through some stuff, and now they're really like not trustworthy. But other than that,
Trying to tell them to speak up.
it's they don't. It's gonna take a long time for them to open up a bit again with you, like their stress level. And
Yeah.
for me, I was stressful. Like for me, everybody's different. But for me, I like to get the stuff and
Like resolve it right
resolve
then.
it right then and there. For other people, it's like they want to take their time, think about it, and then they'll come back to you. So for me, it's like sometimes you got to learn how to take your time.
Yeah.
You know, it takes time. You know, it's not gonna work right away.
Like it's like a healing process kind of
process,
thing.
right? So
And that's also a very good point too. Is like taking that time to heal, regardless of whatever negative situation it is. Like classic example, the shooting. I know that's kind of sacrilege to mention in this podcast, but I mean, stuff like this takes time, and to antiquate it to, and I mean no disrespect in this, to our soldiers coming home. You can't expect them to be 100%. They're not mentally healthy. They've seen some shit.
Mm-hmm.
And not to antiquate what Daniel went through, but it's a similar situation where taking that time to process, accept what happened, and move forward is the first step in healing.
Mm-hmm.
And to heal yourself is to basically say, I accept what happened, I understand what happened, now I need to process it. Because there's a difference between understanding what happened and processing the exact action. Another party foul. But yeah.
So, those are all really good points, guys. Very relatable, and of course, we all feel exactly these words that you said. Because I think a lot of it, we stress ourselves out because we cannot accept that things are out of our control.
Yeah.
When we stress ourselves out more because we keep saying and being redundant in our words about the same situation because we're still not over it. But as soon as we can accept that something has happened and that thing is done and over with, for yourself, you're done dealing with it. If you want to make peace about that same thing with the other person, you can't force that person to be in the same state of relief as you can.
Because everybody processes differently.
Yeah, so we just have to be a little bit more courteous when it comes to making things ho'oponopono to make things right. And so, with these closing statements, we can't. It's like the same thing. You can't take care of somebody until you take care of yourself.
Yeah.
It's like it's like the same thing. You can't have a kid if you haven't grown up. You're not.
Yeah.
You can't even tend to yourself. How can you take care of a child, right?
yeah.
It's basically the same thing, and
His
because
roommates.
of a lot of the negative things that's been going on in
Yeah.
our communities nowadays, every single day, in order for us to make a very strong, impactful influence on our communities, we have to take care of ourselves first. And that's just looking on the inside, in our hearts, on our minds, taking care of our bodies, then moving forward.
When you are healthy, feeling good about yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally, you can help others to do so as well. Soul may not be so open to seek out help, so sometimes the right approach is what matters versus forcing someone to help. Remember that someone who really needs help can only be if they choose to change, and that those who do want change just do it instead of saying they will. A forced method, idea, or practice will only push people to not want to perform them even more if they are not putting their full effort into it, despite how easy it may seem for the outside view.
And then a Hawaiian value that reflects this ho'oponopono comes from ho'o, or to make, and pono, right. The repetition of the word pono means doubly right, or being right with both self and others. In a nutshell, ho'oponopono is a process by which we forgive others to whom we are connected. this is an important value to Hawaiian culture, as well as many other cultures, because nothing can be made with just one person. The many hands soaked in hard labor lessens as long as they're a part of helping with a burden or a task, and thus makes it easier for everyone instead of just a single person. When a community fails to support and take care of itself, it's usually due to factors that's caused within said community.
So in order for us to change our community, we must first change our own temple, our vessel that holds us together. Like many things in life, maintenance to keep things running smoothly and efficiently results in the longevity of health and enjoying life with the time that is given to us. We are on limited time, so why not make the best of it while we can? And with that being said, I'm Alika, dear Hawaiian Blanca. This is
Greg Chi, 808 Project D.
and we got here,
Dan the Big Man, aka Daniel.
and mahalos for watching this latest episode of the Whack Wednesdays podcast. We speak to you later. Shoot solo.